Good afternoon, everyone. I am Joshua Albergila, a student from LPU Laguna. I am For today's interview, I will be asking few questions. But prior to that, I will introduce to you our guest for today's interview. She is a professor from LPU Laguna, Miss Maria Elisa Mina. Good afternoon, Miss.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Maria Elisa Mina, but you can call me Teacher Liz. I am one of the Being Skills facilitator. I've been teaching here in LPU Laguna since 2020, school year 2020. And yeah, I've been handling Being Skills subjects.
Oh, that's amazing, ma'am. So, matagal na pala po kayo sa institution and you met different students, especially teacher po, right
Yes,
po?
for 2 years.
Oh, 2 years po. So, so for our first question po, how can a Filipino love his country?
How can a Filipino love his country? Well, for me, for as long as you contribute simply the way you can, um, for example, abiding the law, being a good Filipino citizen by abiding the law and then doing good things to the best that you can. Maybe that's how I can show that I love my country as a Filipino. And of course, being generous. For me personally, being generous in any way that I can, sharing my time, resources, and effort, especially with my profession as teacher. Um, I can say that I am able to show my love to this country and make this world a better place. That's actually one of the LLE goals, the Laurelian experience goals, and that's actually make me more interested to continue teaching here in LPU.
Okay po. For the next question po, how are the times then and now? And what do you think will happen in the future?
Well, I am a 90s person, and now um, we are on generation Z, right? Gen Z. So um, traditionally, I was able to observe, um, especially in education, I was able to observe how students strive to gain knowledge by hook or by crook to the best that they can. But I can see that now it's easier for the people to get what they want because of the technology, because of the modernization. That's actually one of the observation that I have. Um, People find it easier for them to do what they want right now, especially when they use technology. And there are so many automation that is happening, especially in the business world, even the education right now. We find a lot of ways on how we can communicate to each and everyone, especially this online class. So then um, we maybe we cannot bear um, stopping for a year or two because before yeah, if we had a pandemic before, maybe the education stops, but now it did not hinder us to stop because there are so many ways on how to deliver or on how to communicate with each and everyone because of the technology. And as time goes by, I can see in the future that almost everything will be automated, and most of us um, will be reliant to the technology. And maybe there will be pros and cons. But yeah, we can think of the advantages and disadvantages that can happen in the future because of the technology. Pwedeng mas maging reliant na yung mga tao dun sa automation na nangyayari, especially pagbabayad pa lang, 'di ba? Payment, if you observe the payment, I mean the payment strategies or the payment mediums, then the medium of communication also, um yeah, social media, so mas dadami pa yan. So I can see in the future na talagang magiging ano na siya, mas modernized and civilized. As I was saying earlier, I just conclude that I hope this won't change the value of the Filipino. Although the traditional way of living is gone, it's already modernized. I hope the value and the legacy of what our forefathers have left won't change. Ayan.
Okay. In line with what you have said earlier po about education, how can education make this world better than before?
Better than before. Um,
Yes.
well, there are so many things to consider. First, if the people will adapt to the technology, but will take education seriously and will work together um, to make the medium of education effective for everyone, especially on online learning or face-to-face learning. If everyone will take it seriously and put value to what they are doing, teachers and students, it will become more effective. Because even if we were in the old curriculum before, I can say that um, the students and the teachers are very dedicated to learn because they are not distracted to the to so many things that technology brings, especially social media, online games. So to be specific, that is a big factor. But now we can I can see the risk of not uh, of the students not being focused in achieving their goals in finishing their degree in education because of the distraction of social media and the technology, and maybe of all of the things that's happening um, in the environment and in the whole world actually. And I hope the being skill subject can help the Lyceans, at least because this is the only school that has being skills. Our aim is actually to prepare everyone, not just to finish their studies, but to face the reality, the real world, um, on how the students can use the learnings, the knowledge in leadership, in self control, project management, in the career path that they will take, or in the future professions or future jobs that they will have. So yeah.
Um, for you po as a teacher, which is more important? Years in school, which is the K to 12 agenda, or the quality of education?
I will still go with the quality of the delivery of of the school stakeholders. Even if we do have the we have the K to 12 curriculum, the additional years of studies, but if the execution is actually poor, it will not help our students meet, or it will not help the school if every stakeholders meet their goals, um, to make education a success, even if in the traditional way back, and maybe all of us can say that there are still a lot of people who excel in education without undergoing this curriculum. I would say, I mean, I'm not saying that this is not valuable. The K to 12 curriculum is still valuable. However, it has to be, there must be efficiency in execution and in the implementation process, especially in monitoring. The administration must be monitoring the implementation of this curriculum to become more effective. So I won't choose between the two, but I want to be I want this to become blended, or yeah, I want this to put together K to 12 plus the still application of the traditional way in a way that this will be monitored and implemented in an effective way, efficient and effective way.
Okay. So before we formally end this interview po, we would like to express our sincere gratitude po to you, Miss Mina, for giving us your time and for giving us some knowledge and meaning and having a meaningful interview. Thank you, Paul.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for reaching out also. Thank you for having me. Good luck.
Hello there, I am Awijoy T. Malabag, a student of BS MLS 2-1, your interviewer for today, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions to know about your perception and understand about these topics. So let's start.
Hi everyone, my name is Audrey Clamoy Alpinigan. I am here from the Leslipa. I'm currently taking up Bachelor of Science in Legal Management. And I'm conducting an interview with Ali Malapag, and he is taking up Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology in the Lyceum of the Philippines in Laguna.
How can a Filipino love his country?
This question is, how can a Filipino love his country? And there are different kinds of manifestations of love for our country. So the first one that comes to mind would be supporting local businesses and patronizing local goods. And the second one would be to educate ourselves in our history and our politics and be widely involved with that. I think that there is no place for apathy nor apoliticalism in our country, especially in times like this. And the third one would be to get involved with the community and socialize with them, especially to the marginalized people, and know about their plight.
How are the times then and now? And what do you think will happen in the future?
The second question is, how are the times then and now? Well, I believe that the past and the present are very much widely connected, and we have to give credit to our ancestors who put the foundations of what advances we are enjoying today, such as technology, environmental protection, and pretty much modernity in general. And what I think will happen in the future, well, the present counts in building what kind of future we hope for our children and for ourselves. Scientists today are advocating for climate change and action that needs to be taken now. And that is the first step in how we imagine or how we envision our future.
How can education make this country better than before?
So the third question is, how can education make this country even better than before? So I believe that education is an investment to our children, and we owe it to our children to be given only the facts and the truth. And this makes them aware of what is happening. They are not blinded by any sort of false information that are given to them by other sources of media. And what counts is that we are educated and we can make educated theories or educated guesses as to how this country will progress.
Which is more important, years in school, K-12 agenda, or the quality of education?
For our fourth question, which do you think is better? years in education, such as the K-12 or quality education. I would choose quality education, and this is because if you're presented with a scenario of no matter how long a child studies in school, if they are not given quality education, then it is basically like you're repeating the same cycle over and over again. They are not progressing and they are not developing. And a quality education is the key to have a sustainable, progressive lifestyle for students or the children if they grow up.
2, 3. Hi, I'm Angelo Iraula and I'm about to ask some questions to Mr. Kelly Fusana.
Hi, I'm Kelly Fusana. I'm a freshman in De La Salle University.
First question. How can a Filipino love his country?
Being an active citizen and being politically aware for what is happening in our country.
Second question. How are the times then and now, and what do you think will happen in the future?
I can say that there's a lot of differences from then and now, and for the future, I can't really tell what is gonna happen, and no one can predict the future.
Third question. How can education make this country better than before?
For showing the students what is the real meaning of conscience, discipline, and excellence, because some of the teachers are saying that but they don't apply it to themselves.
Last question. Which is more important? Years in school like K-12 agenda or quality of education?
Quality education, because it's not about how long you take the education, it's about the quality of the education.
Hello, I am Awijoy Malabag, a student of BS MLS 2-1, and I'm currently taking my courses into LPU St. Cabrini. And for this session, I'm going to ask you a few questions to know about your perception and stand about these things. So, should we start?
My name is Kate Marian Opanghulan and I am a grade 11 STEM student.
Okay. For the first question, how can a Filipino love his country?
Respect is one of the greatest expressions of love. And as a Filipino, I can show love to my country by paying utmost respect to its history, culture, tradition, and of course to my fellow Filipinos.
Okay, very well said. Moving on to the next question. How are the times then and now, and what do you think will happen in the future?
Well, nowadays, a lot of Filipinos are forgetting the basics of how a true Filipino should act or behave. I also observed that most Filipinos are not well educated on certain stuff, like the Philippine history, for instance. And I don't really know what will happen to the future, but I really hope our education system will improve.
Okay. For the third question, how can education make this country better than before?
Education is really important. It has a great impact in our beliefs, opinion, knowledge, and of course our actions, which will make us a better person to be able to help our country.
And for the last question, as a senior high school student, which is more important to you? The prolonged years in school, or what we call the K to 12, or the quality of education that they administer?
For me, obviously, the quality education is more important because there is no sense to more years of learning if its education, if its quality of education is flawed. Plus, kapag maraming taon yung sinayang pero hindi naman maganda yung quality na education, edi sayang lang yung taon.
Ayun. Thanks for your time and stay safe.